56. Dear Kiddo, take my hand into the abyss of comedy. Listen up, Sprout. You were birthed out of a cocktail of passion and, let's be honest, sheer stupidity. With parents like us, two artists, you were destined for a life filled with drama and an excessive collection of scarves. When your mom announced she was pregnant, I was hit with a tsunami of feelings. Excitement? Check. Hope? You betcha. But also a creeping sense of doom, like when you hear the opening riff of a slasher flick. See, your mom was not just any narcissist, she was the queen of self-love, with the emotional range of a cactus and the entitlement of a spoiled medieval monarch. But me? I was clueless. I thought, sure, she's a tad peculiar, perhaps slightly off her rocker, but we can handle it, right? This, my dear, is why you should never trust your own logic. Instead of running for the hills to process the news, I took the scenic route to wisdom. I decided to finish my painting lessons in a quaint little town called Helper, Utah. Yes, Helper. As if the town itself was there to aid in my existential crisis. I thought, what better place to contemplate fatherhood than with a palette in hand? But your mom? She would have none of that peaceful reflection. She stormed into Helper for a romantic national park tour, turning our adventure into a showcase of her special brand of insanity. Initially, it was bliss. We explored canyonlands, trekked through arches, soaking in the desert's majesty. But soon, Mom's mental fissures widened into chasms. Her comments made my eyebrows climb so high they were halfway to Canada by the time we got back to Helper. Then, in Helper, chaos truly blossomed. We were in this fancy suite, courtesy of my mentors, David and Marilou. This room was sacred, donated by Anne, a patron saint of local art. What does Mom suggest? A love-making session in Anne's Holy of Holies. I balked, not because I was playing hard to get, as she melodramatically claimed, but because the hotel's acoustics were something out of a horror movie, and I actually liked the neighbors. Plus, after our escapades in Moab, which could have made even the most liberal of hippies blush, her accusations of neglect were beyond comical. But the drama peak? That was at David and Marilou's artist shindig for Mom. I, in my innocence, talked shop about brushes with another artist, who, by the way, was there with her boyfriend. It was as platonic as discussing the weather. Mom, however, went nuclear. She erupted like a volcano with a vendetta, upset that I dared to speak to another human with a uterus. Meanwhile, she was actively pen-palling every ex and potential lover in her little black book. She had not just boarded the train to Crazy Town, but was conducting it. That night, in the sanctity of Anne's room, I lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering how life had led me here. How was I to raise you with a woman whose sense of justice was akin to a child throwing a tantrum over the last piece of candy? But here's the kicker about darkness, kiddo. Sometimes you've just got to dive in and pray there's a light switch at the end. And remember, this was just the appetizer. Strap in. It's going to be a wild ride.